Okay, welcome back, Pahrump, from the break. We're in the last half of the segment. And I didn't want to say anything in the first part of the show because I never know if I'm going to have a guest or not. But this time I was able to convince Dr. Michael Jonak to join me on the show. Michael has been a colleague of mine in Pahrump for, I think, close to 9 years, I believe, maybe even a little bit longer. I've kind of lost track. But Mike worked with me initially when I had my own medical group, and then he left to work with healthcare partners, and then he has basically retired from healthcare partners, and now he's very excited, and I'm very excited. He's going to be working in Beatty with me coming up, and I think he's very excited about that opportunity as we expand into the Beatty area. And as you know, that has been in the paper. We did win the bid from the town of Beatty, and that all came about because of the budget shortfalls in the county. And then Mike had been doing some work out in the jail, and that was a very noble thing to try and help out the inmates in that, but that didn't really work out very well, and I think that's a logistical thing, but I think they're still working on that. But at any rate, as the discussions proceeded, we learned that the health services in Nevada, which ran the Beatty and Amargosa clinic, were losing their funding, and we were very interested in running that clinic, and we had several meetings in the town, and we were actually able to procure that contract. So we're very excited about supporting the people in Beatty, and I know, Mike, you're very excited about that too. And you bring a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of experience to a community that is like all rural health. They need the services that you provide. I mean, they have a very adequate nurse practitioner who services Beatty, but there are unfortunately people that just prefer not to see a mid-level. They want to see a doctor, and so I think it's very good that you'll be driving up there. You plan to go up there at least, what, 2 to 3 days a week? And
yeah, that's correct. 2
to 3 days a week. Okay, good.
That's correct.
And I think that's going to be very important. I think you've bring a wealth of experience. I mean, you practice in Vegas starting in what,
1977.
1977. That's a long time.
That is.
Yeah.
That is.
So you've kind of like me. I mean, I graduated medical school in 70. When did I graduate? 70. I started at 83. So you're out there quite a few years. So what do you think about Las Vegas medicine? It's probably changed for the worse, don't you think?
Well, Las Vegas did change quite a bit over the period of time since I've been in this area. In 1977, when I first arrived in Las Vegas, the population of Las Vegas was 250,000 people.
Wow.
And you could drive from one side of Las Vegas to the other in 20 minutes. Drive straight down Sahara, and you'd be where you wanted to be. It was just a small town, and services were small as well. And in the last 38 years, the population of Las Vegas has increased tenfold. And any time in life when you have a tenfold change in any circumstance, you have a revolution. And there was a revolution in Medicare, or Medicaid, in medical change, care back in Vegas in the interim, and now Vegas has exploded, and their care is second to none. I was down in Vegas for 25 years, and came to Pahrump in 2003, and that's when I started to work with you.
Right.
And Pahrump is just a wonderful community, and from here, we're going to go on to take care of Beatty.
Yep.
And we're looking
I'm
forward to doing
yeah,
that.
I'm looking very excited I'm very excited about what we can bring to Beatty, which is, our experiences as providers, and I think you'll be the main guy up there as far as, doctors are concerned, but bringing services like ultrasound on a regular basis, bringing some specialist people. I mean, when doctors start going into a town, we start bringing, the specialists kind of trail with you, so people want to latch on to the business that you're going to be driving, and which is good for the people, because let's face it, I mean, for the people in Beatty, it's a 45-minute drive, and they're older. They don't want to drive that highway. It's not, roads in Nevada are not a priority like they are in some places. You would think with all the gambling revenue that they would be, but our highways really, like when I moved out to Pahrump, I mean, one highway with 2 lanes and no shoulder, and that's why I chose to live out here, because I don't want to drive, back to Vegas after working 14 hours in the emergency room. That's really an insane proposition, but the highways have gotten better, and certainly the services have gotten better here, and that leaches out to a small area, but still in Beatty it's very geographically remote and isolated, and the more services we can bring to that town, then the better off. So one of the reasons I had you on the show was because I know that you had a good following here in this town, and there were a lot of people that were loyal clients of yours that would like to see you again. And so that means that if you wanted to see Mike and you enjoy his care and his concern for you as a patient, then you can get in your car and drive to Beatty. I think that's a worthwhile thing to do. I think he'd be happy to do that. I think part of the reason he, and I don't mind saying it because I used to work for Healthcare Partners for the 6 months that I left Tenari's practice, and I mean, I don't really want to bash them. They're an organization, but that's why I'm independent. I think I can better serve the patient as a doctor who doesn't, have someone telling me what to do, but each individual insurance company is for you. Remember, you as a patient make your relationship with the insurance company, and then you try and have a relationship with a doctor. And in my book, that doesn't work. So who's controlling the strings, the insurance company or are you? That's why I had that billboard up on 160 that says, "Are you independent medical group?" Meaning, if you're independent, then you might want to think about the independent medical group, because we can better independently take care of your needs, and I think you can attest to that too, right?
Absolutely, and I would encourage all of my patients to come out to Beatty. It's a nice drive. The scenery is beautiful, and
and you go to the candy store, right? Eddie's Candy Factory. It's hard to stay away from that, but. The Beatty Medical Clinic, as you know, as you come into town, you take a left and you can see it up on the hill up there, and we will be, Mike, I think you'll probably be there, Monday, and I think the jail thing is kind of, so you're going to try and do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday deal out there?
Well, it's sort of fluid right now, the schedule, but I will have a regular presence in Beatty.
So, if you want to see Mike until we get currently Health Services Nevada has the contract in Beatty until the 10th, and they're occupying the clinic until that time. They're not moving out very fast. They're going to make it a little difficult on us to go in there. But one of the things that if you do want to schedule an appointment with Mike, you can call my office at 751-6111. I think we bring that number up on the screen. And we will be basically using the same EMR system. So if you want to schedule an appointment with Mike, you can do that through my office, but you will not see him in my office. You may need to see him in Beatty. So I want to let everybody know that because we don't want to interfere with any non-competes that you may have with Healthcare Partners, even though my personal belief is they don't exist and they can't limit your ability to earn a living, but you don't want to spend a bunch of money at the attorney's office to figure that out. And so, and rural health medicine does present its challenges. So, but the nice thing about living in Pahrump and going to Beatty to get your doctor's visit is that you can still get your prescriptions filled here. We have the pharmacies, we have the hospital, we have the labs, we have every ancillary service that you would need in this town. But the one thing you will get going to Beatty is, again, a nice drive and get to see you. So
Absolutely.
how could you go wrong in that situation?
You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. So if you like Dr. Jonak and he was your doctor, and I know he's been in my practice, he's been in Healthcare Partners, he's worked with Dr. Chinari. I think you've worked like me almost with everybody. You're kind of like, I changed locations more often than I think Doan's has pills. But that being said, you know, I'm always in the town, and Pahrump is a small town, and Beatty's even smaller, and the distance is even smaller. So I want the callers to, if you have any questions for Dr. Jonak, we're going to take a break here in just another minute or so and come back for a small segment. And again, that call-in number is 727-8750. If you have any questions for myself or Dr. Jonak, please pick up the phone and give us a call. And if you know somebody who knows Dr. Jonak, who has seen Dr. Jonak and wants to see him again, please spread that word throughout the community. He wants to be busy. He wants to see you if you want to see him. And with that being said, again, that phone number, 727-8750, and the 751, no, would you bring that up? Yeah, 751-6111 to call and make an appointment for Dr. Jonak. Anyway, we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we'll talk about a few other topics in Pahrump. Thank you very much.